Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Brian Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you my August reading plans. So if you want to know the books that I'll be reading in August, please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. So like I said before, I'll be sharing with you my reading plans for August. If you are new to my channel, I do want to let you know I don't do TBRs. I used to, because I really wanted to stick to only reading those books that I really wanted to read, that I shared with all of you. But I tend to be a mood reader nowadays, and I always change my mind, and what I read throughout the month always changes. So these are what I plan on reading in August. So the first book that I'm planning on reading in August is Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. This is her second book, the second book that she has written. Her first book that she has written was A House of Salt and Sorrows, and this book sounds really interesting. I was able to, it just released recently, so I'm like, I might as well read out of my comfort zone and read it, right? I just want to read more books out of my comfort zone, just to have more of a bigger aspect on books, different types of writing, and what have you, just stuff like that. So I think just having an open mind into trying to read something new that I'm not usually reading, I think that's pretty good, and a good thing, and one of my goals that I wanted to accomplish this year. So yeah, Small Favors, and I'll go ahead and read the synopsis if you haven't heard of this book. So it says, the heart's desire always comes with a price. And so it says, Illyria Downing is waiting for something to happen. Life in isolation, isolated Amity Falls, surrounded by an impenetrable forest, has a predictable sameness. Her days are filled with tending to her family's beehives, chasing after her sisters, and dreaming of bigger things, while her twin, Samuel, is free to roam as he wishes. Early settlers fought off monstrous creatures in the woods, and whispers that the creatures still exist keep the Downings and their neighbors from venturing too far. When some townsfolk go missing on a trip to fetch supplies, a heavy unease settles over the falls. Strange activities begin to plague the town, and as the seasons change, it's clear that something is terribly wrong. The creatures are real, and they're offering to fulfill the residents' deepest desires, however grand, for just a small favor. These seemingly trifling demands, however, hide sinister intentions. Soon, Illyria finds herself in a race against time to stop Amity Falls, her family, and the boy she loves from going up in flames. Small Favors is a mesmerizing and chilling novel about dark wishes and dreams and what lurks in the shadows of the people you think you know. So I'm very interested in reading this book. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this book. I know last year or a year ago, a lot of people were raving about her book, House of Salt and Sorrows. So I figured like this would be a very good book. And then even on the back it says, "Enter not the forest deep, beyond the bells the dark friends keep." So there's that. And then also, if you want to see the end pages, this is what it looks like. And then if I take the dust jacket off, it's yellow, but then the spine is gorgeous. I love the bees and everything on it. Like, that's just stunning, just stunning. So yeah, so this is a book that I'm planning on reading in August. So this is the first book. Next one, it's like a graphic novel. It's definitely something that I haven't read anything similar to this when it comes to aliens and stuff like that. So I figure like this will be a good like sci-fi type-ish graphic novel. So I'm going to be reading Bubble, and it's by Morris, Morgan, Cliff, and Reese. It says based on the smash hit podcast. So we have Bubble here. And then for the synopsis, it says, built and maintained by corporate benevolence, the city of Fairhaven is a literal bubble of safety and order and amazing coffee. In the midst of the brush, a harsh alien wilderness ruled by monstrous imps and rogue bands of humans. Humans like Morgan, who's brush-born and bubble-raised and fully capable of fending off an imp attack during her morning jog. She's got a great routine going. She has a chill day job. She recreationally kills the occasional imp. Then she takes that imp home for her roommate and BFF, Annie, to transform into drugs as a side hustle. But cracks appear in her tidy life when one of those imps nearly murders a delivery guy in her apartment, accidentally transforming him into a brush-powered mutant in the process. And when Morgan's employer launches Hunter, a gig economy app for imp extermination, she finds herself press-ganged into kicking her stabby side job up to the next level as she battles a parade of monsters and monstrously brush-turned citizens, from a living hipster beard to a book club hive mind. And it says, based on the smash hit audio serial, Bubble is a hilarious high-energy romp through alien goo, knife-filled fanny packs, and triumph over one-star Hunter reviews. So yeah, so I feel like this would be a good little graphic novel. But these are the graphics, and they're pretty cool. So I figured like this will be a little cute book to read in August. So this is another book that I'm planning on reading in August, Bubble. And the next one, which it's been on my TBR, it's been on my shelves for a very long time, and then I think it's really time to pick it up. And that is The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. It says, outcasts by blood, warriors by choice. And then on back it says, are we girls or are we demons? Are we going to die or are we going to survive? So if I take the dust jacket off, look at that, it's beautiful. And I believe this is the Owl Crate exclusive edition. So it's a little bit, look, the dust jacket is a little bit different from the original cover. So let me go ahead and read her synopsis if you haven't read this book yet. So it says, 16-year-old Decca lives in fear and anticipation of the blood ceremony that will determine whether she becomes a member of her village. Already different from everyone else because of her unnatural intuition, Decca prays for red blood so she can finally feel like she belongs. But on the day of the ceremony, her blood runs gold, the color of impurity, and Decca knows she will face a consequence worse than death. Then, a mysterious woman comes to her with a choice. Stay in the village and submit to her fate, or leave to fight for the emperor and an army of girls just like her. They are called Alakai, near immortals and with rare gifts, and they are the only ones who can stop the empire's greatest threat. Knowing the dangers that lie ahead, yet yearning for acceptance, Decca decides to leave the only life she's ever known. But as she journeys to the capital to train for the biggest battle of her life, she discovers that the Great Walled City holds many surprises. Nothing and no one are quite what they seem to be, not even Decca herself. In this bold and immersive fantasy, a young heroine fights to save a world that would dare to tame her and discovers that she is her own fiercest weapon. So yes, I've been wanting to read this for a very long time, and I figure like this is the right time and the great opportunity to finally read this book. So yep, I'm gonna be reading this in August for sure. So we have The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. So right here. Next book that I've been wanting to read is pretty much a series that I've been wanting to get through, and I do planning on reading through the series this year before the year is over, because the newest book came out this year, and that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I know you're probably all of you like, what, you have not read this yet? No, I have not. I tried reading through it once and it was just so long. Like I got to page like 240 and then like I can't do it, so like I stopped reading it, and then I'm like, okay, I need to get together and read it because I have all the books behind me that I still need to read. Like I need to read A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and the newest book, A Court of Silver Flames. So I'm like, I need to get on it. So instead of just physically reading it, I'm going to be listening to it on audiobook. I felt like that would be a good way for me to get through the series. So that's pretty much what I'll be doing for the rest of the year, is probably doing audiobooks for the ACOTAR series. So yes, so and this book is huge, so I know like the audiobook I think is like 14 hours long, I believe, due to the speed that I'm going to be having it on. But yes, so if you haven't started reading this, I think you should do so. I love A Court of A Court of Thorns and Roses. It was very beautiful, like a Beauty and the Beast retelling type of deal. And of course, a lot of people say that this book is very, 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 very steamy, where it can mostly be more like an adult series rather than a young adult. But I should go ahead and read the synopsis if you haven't yet read this. So it says, tell me what you see. A world divided in two. It says, Farah survived Amarantha's clutches to return to the spring court, but at a steep cost. Though she now has the powers of the High Fae, her heart remains human, and it can't forget the terrible deeds she performed to save Tamlin's people. Nor has Farah forgotten her bargain with Rysand, High Lord of the feared Night Court. As Farah navigates its dark web of politics, passion, and dazzling power, a greater evil looms, and she might be the key to stopping it. But only if she can harness her harrowing gifts, heal her fractured soul, and decide how she wishes to shape her future and the future of a world torn apart. It says, #1 New York Times and USA Today bestselling author Sarah J. Maas expands Farah's world beyond even her wildest imagination in this seductive and stunning sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses. So, yes, I'm planning on listening to this because, like I said, I tried to read it and couldn't get through it. So I felt like, okay, audiobook will definitely help me out with this. And, you know, as I'm listening to it, I can get some things done, especially what my husband wants me to do around the house. So hopefully that will motivate me to, oh, okay, since I can listen to this book and not like stay stationary and read it, I can actually get some things done. So yeah, so this is another book that I plan on listening/reading in August. And then the next book, which is probably not going to be the last book because I know there's a lot of releases coming out in October, but in August, like Redemptor by Jordan Flaco. Is it Jordan Flaco? Or I think it's I don't remember her first name, but it's the second book of Raybearer. That's a disaster. So yes, by Jordan Flaco. So yes, so this is the first book that I read last year, and I literally fell in love with it. So so the second book, which is Redemptor, comes out in August, I believe August 17th, which I went ahead and pre-ordered, but with Raybearer, actually listened to it on audiobook, which I'm also going to be doing the same with Redemptor, but I just still want a physical copy. So that probably will be another book or audiobook that I'll be listening to. But this book I'm going to be trying to read because I know the sequel of this book is going to be coming out in October or November of this year. So I felt like I should definitely read this now. And that is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. And this is the Fairy Loot exclusive, as you can see right here. And if I take the dust jacket off, let's see, look at that. That's beautiful. Of course, this is an irreversible dust jacket. But yeah, so I felt like this will be a good time to read it due to the fact that, like I said, the sequel is going to be coming out. A lot of sequels are coming out for their series this year. Like, I know, like, for these Violent Delights, the sequel is going to be coming out this year. Kingdom of the Wicked, that sequel by Carrie Maniscalco is going to be coming out this year. And so I feel like, man, I need to hurry up. So even on the back, it says, don't let her die. We are coming. So let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this book. So it says, here at Zalindov, the only person you can trust is yourself. 17-year-old Kiva Meriden is a survivor. For 10 years, she has worked as the healer in the notorious death prison, Zalindov, making herself indispensable. Kept afloat by messages of hope from her family, Kiva has one goal and one goal only: stay alive. Then one day, the infamous rebel queen arrives at the prison on death's door, and Kiva receives a new message: don't let her die. We are coming. The queen is sentenced to the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental challenges against the torments of air, fire, water, and earth, assigned to only the most dangerous of criminals. Aware the sickly queen has little chance of making it through the trials alive, Kiva volunteers to take her place. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom. But no one has ever survived. And with an incurable plague sweeping Zalindov, a mysterious new inmate fighting for Kiva's heart, and a prison rebellion brewing, Kiva can't escape the terrible feeling that her trials have only just begun. And it says, from best-selling Australian author Lynette Noni comes a dark, thrilling, and action-packed YA fantasy, perfect for fans of Sarah J. Maas and Sabata here. So yes, I feel like this is something right up my alley. I love fantasy so much, as you can tell. And it's just amazing. Like the worlds that a lot of these authors create, I find really fascinating and very creative. So yeah, so this is another book that I'll be planning on reading in August. But that is pretty much it, you guys. Like, I really wanted to try to knuckle down and read some of the books I really wanted to read this month, and I think I'm going to hopefully I'll succeed. So right now it's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then of course you have Redemptor by Jordan Fuego, which will be the 6th book. So hopefully this is pretty much what I'm going to be like. I'm planning on reading in August. But like I said, I'm a mood reader. My moods constantly change throughout the month, so I always change it up just a tad. But yeah, so this is what I'm planning on reading in August. But anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.